everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Today we are playing a N'Zoth Hakkar Warrior on the standard mode ladder. But before we get into this glorious deck to celebrate the Descent of Dragons expansion, soon to be released in December, I will be giving away two 60-pack Descent of Dragons pre-purchases. There'll be two lucky winners. For full instructions on this giveaway, please read the video description below. But in summary, all you need to do is be a subscriber of the channel, and in the comments section below, leave one comment telling me which Descent of Dragons card you are most looking forward to playing. This is based on the cards that have been announced so far. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. So yeah, give yourself a chance of winning. The deadline for this is Sunday the 10th of November at about 12 PM UK time, which is when my next video will drop, and I will announce the winners when that video is released next Sunday. Okay, so give yourself a chance to win, subscribe to the channel, leave that comment below in the comment section, and I look forward to picking two winners. Okay, this deck right here, Eddie's N'Zoth Hakkar Warrior. This deck was played recently in the Masters Tour of Bucharest, and I saw Eddie playing this deck, and it just looked really fun because I love N'Zoth, and I love Death Rattles, firstly. Secondly, I have most of the Hearthstone cards in my collection, including Hakkar, but I have never played Hakkar before in a deck. And the interaction, the Death Rattle I should say, looks pretty cool, and I wanted to give it a try. I've come to realise that with a deck like this, there's a reasonable amount of decision making needed, a reasonable amount of skill needed, and good timing is paramount. And those are qualities that I don't always have in all of my games. But I really wanted to give this a try and just see how Hakkar works. So this deck has a range of board clears. You have double Brawl, you have double Warpath, Plague of Wrath, 2 copies of that as well, and that's an interesting card that I've yet to play, so first time experiencing Plague of Wrath. You have a selection of good quality Death Rattle minions, Sylvanas, Kartuk Defender, which I'm a massive fan of. Reminds me of Sludge Belcher in the sense that Belcher was a double-layered taunt. So you kill the Belcher, you get the Ooze, 2 taunts to get through. Kartuk Defender is similar, but because of the Reborn effect, you get the healing, which is great, but when you play N'Zoth the Corruptor, you get back multiple copies of the Kartuk Defender. It's pretty cool. Okay, and I love that. I've recently been playing a lot more Hearthstone on the train, and I've been having terrible RNG, terrible luck. I've refrained from yelling at anyone whilst playing Hearthstone on the train. I think I'd get a few odd looks from my fellow commuters. But my biggest concern with train travel here in the UK is all the people that cough and splutter and, just have terrible hygiene. And this is week number 3 of me trying to recover from a cold. I think I'm over it for the most part, but you may hear my voice start to go a little bit in this video. So again, 3rd week running, apologies for that. People on the train need better hygiene and need to be more respectful of their fellow commuters. Okay, train rant over. Let's have a look at this deck in action now on the standard mode ladder. We're going up against a Shaman, and Acolyte of Pain just seems like a sensible keep. We want to draw some cards. That's what we want to do.
Job's done.
Now, one thing that I didn't talk about was Elysiana in this deck and Youthful Brewmaster. So we do have the Emperor present in this deck. If you can get an Emperor tick on Elysiana or on the Youthful Brewmaster, then fatigue should not be a problem. But there is another benefit of Elysiana in this deck, you cancel out the damage that Hakkar shuffles into your deck, whilst your opponent is left to suffer from that point forward, taking consistent damage turn after turn. You can negate what Hakkar shuffles into your deck with Elysiana, and that's an incredibly important part of the strategy when playing this deck. Timing it correctly. So you play Hakkar, get it killed off, draw through most of your deck, and then play Elysiana.
Bring the pain. Let the pain speak to me.
And of course, at that point, hopefully, you've got Youthful Brewmaster available to you, as you could play Elysiana again, and just last through fatigue, whilst your opponent is getting hammered by the damage from Hakkar. And Dr. Boom Mad Genius, costing 9. Okay, granted, it costs 9, so you play it. Unless you've got the coin, you can't fit in a hero power on the same turn. And actually, that's one of the things that made it quite powerful when it cost 7. But even at 9, Dr. Boom Mad Genius is still such an insane hero to have in play. So anyway, let's see what the Shaman has in store for us. Okay. 2 cards milled. But thankfully, that wasn't too bad for us. And in the process, we've drawn lots of cards, so we're happy. So, we can't kill those. They're stealthed. That's annoying. And this is where I'm slightly unsure of what to do. So, I draw a card. There's the Emperor. That's useful. Alright. Let me just chill for a bit. I mean, I'm going to mill a card here as well, which is slightly frustrating. I was hoping I could draw something that I could play, but clearly not. We took a gamble there with milling a card. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. We didn't mill anything terribly important, but there's a Deathwing on the board. And, yeah. That Deathwing survived the brawl. I've shield slammed it for 11. I mean, how unlucky. 11 armor. Shield slam for 11, just to weaken it. Huh, how interesting. That Deathwing is still there. It's got Taunt. It's now got 3 health. So I could Warpath, but I want to save the Warpath for later. And it survives again! Wow. So this is confirmation that Deathwing is clearly an amazing card. And everyone should play Deathwing in their decks then, clearly. Because it survives brawls, it's immune. And we've just taken 14 to the face. Huh. Maybe I should have played Warpath. Okay, maybe I just play it now then. If I'd played it before, we could have avoided taking 14. So, already, it feels like I've misplayed horribly with milling those cards, which was a gamble. Could have milled something important. And not dealing with Deathwing. And taking ridiculous amounts of damage to the face. So, I could have dealt with the Sea Giant completely. I could have killed it off completely. But the strategy there was to weaken it and put it in range of something like the Dynamatic.
Light the fuses!
And for once, my strategy actually paid off. Fancy that? And we're still in this game, despite taking stupid amounts of damage from Deathwing. We are still in it.
I'm so
Okay, so he had a slow turn. Therefore, that was a good time for me to develop Dr. Boom Mad Genius. Another slow turn. How interesting. Is he just trying to get me to overcommit to the board?
Unity, precision, surprise me.
Well, that's a lot of damage that we're pushing, and we're healing too, so that's great. It's as if that Deathwing never did any damage to my face. So we're just healing out of all of that damage. Interesting. Soul of the Murlocs, but no evolve. That's really good for us. That tells me he is just desperate to get board presence going. So I could have pushed damage face there, but we don't have lethal. So I'd prefer to trade here. Just a little bit. A little bit of trading, a little bit of face damage. Yeah, bloodlust. And that's why I wanted to do the trading that I did. Because there he goes again, pushing that damage face. How do we deal with this board? Maybe we could find lethal from a mech. Maybe not.
The menagerie is for guests only. Do not touch.
Listen here! Listen here!
I've got to remember that playing Dr. Boom Mad Genius does give my mechs rush. I am prone to forget that from time to time.
Buttons are so squishy. This might hurt.
Oh wow, that's quite significant. Bat ahead.
Shall we make a storm?
He's really going wide on this board here. We just need to get something to stick on the board. And if we could do that, maybe we can start to threaten lethal. Right. Happy to kill off what I can. N'Zoth the Corruptor being drawn is absolutely significant, because now we can get something to stick.
I'm almost out of cards.
Alright, so 3 things sticking on the board. If he cannot deal with N'Zoth, then we do have the Youthful Brewmaster. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Couldn't deal with it.
Class is in session.
Victory or death!
Alright. This next game against a druid. And I'm not sure about the mulligan here, but I'm going to keep a brawl. Because when that quest is complete, because I'm going to assume it's quest druid, this is standard mode. So when the quest is complete, they can go pretty wide on that board and get some pretty massive threats down. So I think brawl is a reasonable keep. And there's the quest, of course. So, he'll have several turns of doing nothing. I may also have several turns of doing nothing, of just armouring up. Okay, let's do nothing. And what are you thinking about? Maybe you've got a card you can play. No, just the hero power. Okay. Ooh, shield block. That's card draw. Do I want to play that now? I think I do. What was the alternative? The alternative was to just armor up or coin out a 4-drop. This was better. Okay. Still doing nothing. So we have one more turn we can utilize, hopefully. So let's see what we can develop here.
No tomb can hold me.
I just want to get stuff on the board. I think that's going to be important. And Restless Mummy, it's got the reborn effect. That's pretty decent. Okay, this turn he actually manages to do something before he passes. Interesting.
No tomb can hold me.
Okay, double reborn minions in play. Your quest is complete. What are you going to commit to this board? Ah, okay. Ramp and card draw, pretty good. That's also very good. Okay. Shield Slam seems like a possible option. Or do I want to just trade? I'm going to save the Shield Slam. I want to save the Shield Slam maybe for something bigger. I don't know if that was the right play though. Maybe the right play was just a Shield Slam and push face damage. I don't know. Although any face damage I do now is irrelevant. He'll just heal out of it.
So many contradictions.
I think what is more relevant here is having the board. Yeah, I'm not convinced that I played that correctly, but whatever. This is one of those games that is likely to go super long, and so Hakkar will be our win condition. So, let's draw Hakkar. And then just hope that he doesn't have a silence effect for it when we play it. Because they can discover Keeper of the Grove. Which does have a silence effect attached to it. Keeping Sylvanas in hand, just waiting for a better turn to commit her, where we can actually steal something. Yeah. That's a board where maybe Sylvanas is good.
I have no time for games.
Yeah, no time for games. So will he just ignore her and go all face? That is a common strategy that people employ when faced with Sylvanas, or do you trade and hope for the best? Wow. Huh. Is he trying to bait out a brawl? I guess so. Alright, so we brawl and we use the Dynamatic there to clear that board and have a body developed in play. Huh. That's an interesting play. He used the swipe rather than using the rush effect to kill off the minion. He could have saved the swipe. He didn't need to use it there. But yes, Dr. Boom Mad Genius now in play. And the question we need to ask ourselves is, when do we want to commit N'Zoth the Corruptor to the board? Wow. There's the other swipe. He's really keeping the pressure up here. He's doing a good job. Alright, so needed something to do on that turn. The Emperor just seems sensible.
Jewels of the sands.
We've got the discount now on Elysiana. That's pretty important. So we can go to Fatigue and be pretty happy about that fact, because we'll combo Elysiana with Youthful Brewmaster. Alright, so another board clear used. We still have a brawl in hand. So, I mentioned earlier about timing being important with this deck. And we have Hakkar in hand, so when do we play Hakkar? That is the question. So we need to play it,
Jewels of the sun.
and we need to get it killed off as well. Wow, the mortuary machine looks terrible. So we take this taunt. Again, I have to remind myself that the mechs have rush. Easy to forget that sometimes.
My cards are low. How strange.
Alright, he's nearly out of
Oh
cards.
no, my trove of cards.
Oh, now he's out of cards. Interesting. So now we play Hakkar, and that was a glorious, glorious animation and entrance there for Hakkar.
By the power of Ragnaros, I have by the power of Ragnaros, I have the power.
And that is really scary. Double Emperor discount there.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Draw last, because we're good at this game. Yeah, the double discount makes me wonder what is coming my way. I don't play enough standard to be able to predict these things easily. But at least we've healed up substantially. Part of me would worry about Malagos in a situation like this, and Moonfires.
Need a hand, Explorer?
Oh, Elise.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Oh god. Please do not silence Hakkar. This is the concern. This is the worry. If you cannot kill Hakkar off quickly enough, there is that risk of a silence coming down. Interesting.
Sands of time run low.
Would he have been offered a silence? Just because Hakkar's on the board?
Wish is my suggestion.
Right, so now, surely he'd be offered a silence now, right? Maybe he's been offered it and he's not taking it. Maybe he wants to see Hakkar do its thing. I don't know. Okay, how do we deal with this board? Most importantly, I mean, we've got two easy ways of dealing with it based on Brawl. Do I commit the Brawl here? Or do I go with my other board clear? Plague of Wrath seems reasonable. Okay, and we shuffle that damage into our deck. What is the justification of using Plague of Wrath over Brawl?
Need a hand, Explorer?
It feels like these are things I need to be thinking more carefully about. When to use Brawl, when to use Plague of Wrath, when to use Warpath. Right. Khadgar. Okay. And for the remainder of the game, he's just going to be getting incredible value. As he keeps shuffling stuff back into his deck. That's annoying.
Job done.
My cards are low. How strange.
Alright, he hasn't drawn the damage from Hakkar yet. And look at him go with Kun.
Need a hand, Explorer?
Let's stash that away.
Do we have any chance of winning this, based on what he's doing? Right, at least the mechs can rush here. May as well just weaken that up.
My
And,
cards are low. How strange.
Oh, Corrupted Blood. There we go. There's some of Hakkar's damage. This is good. Notice we have another Hakkar on the board. So, timing is everything. We need to kill off the second Hakkar. And then play Elysiana.
Tombs. Our tombs.
Now, as good as Elysiana is... Ooh, put your faith in the light. As good as Elysiana is, she isn't really going to help me. If she's the only thing I'm playing on the board, and I'm facing down a board full of massive threats, like a Tyrion, a Kun, and so on and so forth. Double Kun, in this case. Elysiana's key purpose here is to stop fatigue and to negate the Corrupted Bloods from Hakkar.
Let none survive.
Face your doom!
And is there any way for me to easily guarantee stealing a Tyrion here?
Let none survive.
Alright, see what happens. Of course. Of course, we steal the worst one. Alright. Not really sure what to do here, but this will have to do.
My cards are low. How strange. Oh no, my trove of cards is gone.
Right, Corrupted Blood doing its thing. There's another Tyrion. We have got lucky so far. Not drawing Corrupted Blood. We've got very, very lucky. So, can we go another turn? Another turn without Elysiana?
Our home. Tombs. Bend to my will!
With me, friend.
Try to run.
And instead of comboing Youthful Brewmaster with Elysiana,
How strange.
we value another N'Zoth the Corruptor in hand, and look at the damage here. This is incredible. Can I get lucky here on my next turn?
Need a hand, Explorer?
I have a feeling
Stash that away.
that I'm drawing corrupted blood here. Yep. Here comes the damage.
I'm almost out of cards.
Okay. So, we have to do this now. If we have any hope of surviving, right? We need to play her.
Story deserves a new ending.
Okay. Well, those aren't too bad. Wow. So, we have negated the Corrupted Bloods now in our deck. And despite him playing Elise
Need a
and the
hand,
Banker,
Explorer?
despite all the value in his deck, it turns out that Hakkar is a good counter to all of that value.
Victory is yours.
Wow. That was intense. That was incredibly intense, and quite a hard-fought victory there. Not thrilled with the number of my plays in that game, but you know, first two games playing Hakkar the Soulflayer with a deck that I'm not familiar with on standard, and hey, things worked out pretty well, right? So, would I continue playing this deck? I think after a bit more practice, I could definitely get used to playing Hakkar. I cannot believe, though, that he didn't get a silence effect from Zephyrus. He was able to play Zephyrus twice. Surely, surely with the options that were given to him, surely there would have been a silence on offer. And then surely you'd think to yourself, hang on a minute, I'm about to run out of cards, which means if Hakkar's Death Rattle goes off and all that damage is shuffled into my deck, it's not going to end well for me. But then maybe he thought, hang on a minute, I've got Elise, I've got the Banker. Oh, I can outlast Hakkar's damage just with Elise and the constant shuffling. Maybe that's what he thought. I don't know. I should have befriended him, actually, and then asked him about it. But these days, who knows what happens when you send someone a friend request. Sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me, everyone. I had so much fun playing this deck. A couple of you have messaged me on Twitter and have told me that you have Hakkar. So I'd be interested to hear your ideas on Hakkar and how you think it can work, and whether you think there is a better way of playing Hakkar in a warrior deck or in any other deck. This is a control deck. Maybe you've got ideas on some other kind of warrior deck that you think Hakkar could benefit from. Do make sure you enter yourselves into the Descent of Dragons giveaway. Instructions were referred to at the start of this video and can be read in the video description below. So I'll see all of you again next week, Sunday the 10th of November, to announce the winners of the giveaway. Good luck to everyone that is entering the giveaway, and I'll see you all in a week's time.